Zhao Feihu was a fake person me and my best friend Lu Ning made up.
One drunk night, just off the top of our heads.
We had a deal. If either of us ever went missing or fell out of contact,
that name would be our distress signal. Nobody else knew that name existed.
Just the two of us.
Lu Ning had been missing for a whole month. And then one night at dinner with my husband, he suddenly asked me, "Who is Zhao Feihu?" My husband, Yancheng, was the perfect man on paper.
Successful career, great job.
Handsome, sweet, thoughtful. He'd pick me up and drop me off every single day.
Cook for me whenever I wanted.
And always find a way to make every holiday feel special. But on our 5th wedding anniversary, right in the middle of dinner, he put down his chopsticks and looked straight at me.
"Who is Zhao Feihu?"
My chopsticks froze midair. My heart skipped a beat. That name, Zhao Feihu. Me and my best friend Lu Ning came up with it back in college. Drunk out of our minds one night.
Just pulled it out of thin air.
I stared at Yancheng's face, completely calm, like nothing was wrong. And I felt my heart slowly sink. How could he possibly bring up that name? A whole month after Lu Ning went missing? How? It was the year we graduated. Lu Ning and I killed an entire bottle of red wine up on the rooftop, and she threw her arm around me, completely wasted.
Zhiyi.
Let's come up with a code word. What kind of code word? If one day something happens to one of us, we go dark, can't be reached. The other one hears that name and knows something's wrong. I laughed at her for being dramatic, but I went along with it anyway, and we spent forever brainstorming and finally landed on Zhao Feihu. In the entire world, only 2 people knew what that name really meant. Just 2. One was me. The other was Lu Ning. A month ago, Lu Ning told me she was heading to Chiang Mai, Thailand, just for a few days. She even video called me right before she left. "Zhi, what do you want? I'll grab it for you." That was the last time I ever saw her face. After that, she never replied to another message. Her phone just rang and rang. Her last post was a photo from a night market in Chiang Mai. I filed a missing persons report. Her family did too. The Thai authorities launched their own investigation, but there was no sign of her, alive or dead. Lu Ning had vanished off the face of the earth. And now my husband, Yancheng, a man who, on paper, had absolutely no connection to Lu Ning, a man who never once liked a single one of her posts, casually brought up a name over dinner, Zhao Feihu. Yancheng caught me frozen. He smiled. "What's wrong?" "Why are you making that face?" "Nothing." I looked down and put a bite of food in my mouth. I couldn't taste a thing. I've never heard that name before. "Where'd you hear it?" Yancheng took a sip of water. And then he said something that made my skin crawl. My best friend was missing, and my husband had just let slip a secret that only she and I were supposed to know. Oh, a friend mentioned Zhao Feihu. I was just curious. Anyway, that investment deal I told you about? We need to move on it soon. Once it goes through, we can finally upgrade to a bigger place. I set down my bowl. I couldn't hear a word he was saying. There was only one thought in my head. How does he know? Zhao Feihu. That name. How the hell does he know that name? After dinner, Yancheng went to take a shower. I sat on the couch, palms slick with sweat. No. The sound of running water drifted from the bathroom. I glanced over at the bathroom door, then got up and walked to his phone, the one he'd left on the dining table. I knew the passcode. It was our wedding anniversary. I unlocked it. My hands were shaking, and I started going through his messages. Call logs, notes, everything. Nothing. Not a single thing. It was spotless. Too spotless. Nobody's phone is that clean. Nobody normal anyway. So I went to the study and pulled up Yancheng's laptop. I knew that password too. He'd never kept anything from me, or so I thought. I went through the browser history, the files, the downloads, every last one of them, until I opened one more folder, a cache file from a travel booking app. My hand froze. A month ago, Yancheng told me he had a 3-day business trip to Shanghai. I even packed his suitcase for him. But the booking records told a different story. He hadn't bought a ticket to Shanghai. He'd bought a ticket to Chiang Mai, Thailand, and he'd left a full day before Lu Ning. His return flight was 2 days after Lu Ning went missing. Why the hell did Yancheng lie to me about going to Chiang Mai? I heard the water shut off in the bathroom. I snapped the laptop shut. walked back to the living room, dropped onto the couch, and grabbed my phone, pretending to scroll through videos. Yancheng came out toweling his hair dry. He glanced at me. "You're still up?" "Yeah, just a little longer." "Don't stay up too late." "I'm heading to bed." I watched him walk into the bedroom. The light went out. I sat there, staring at that dark bedroom door. My fingers slowly tightened around the armrest. Only one question in my head. "Yancheng, what were you doing in Thailand?" First thing the next morning, I told Yancheng there was an urgent project at work. I need to head out on a business trip for a few days. So Yancheng was standing there tying his tie. Didn't even bother to turn around. "Where to?" "Shenzhen." "When will you be back?" "Not sure. 3, maybe 4 days." He turned and glanced at me. Gave me a little smile. "Stay safe." "Will do." Noon flight. I never went to Shenzhen. I flew to Chiang Mai, Thailand. We touched down at 4 in the afternoon, local time. The air in Chiang Mai hit me like a wall, hot and thick with humidity. The smell of it stopped me cold for a second. The last photo Lu Ning ever sent me, it was taken right here, in this city. There she was, standing in front of a mango sticky rice cart, grinning like a little kid. I didn't have time to get sentimental. I went straight to the hotel where Lu Ning had been staying. Before she left, she'd shared a screenshot of her booking with me. It was a boutique hotel just outside the old city walls, called the Lotus Courtyard. I walked up to the front desk and pulled out a photo of Lu Ning. I showed it to the receptionist. "This girl stayed here about a month ago. Do you remember her?" The receptionist looked at the photo and shook her head. "That can't be right. She definitely stayed here. Her name's Lu Ning. She's Chinese." The receptionist checked the computer and nodded. "We have a record. She stayed 3 nights. After that, she never extended her stay. But she never checked out either. Her luggage is still in our storage room." My stomach dropped. Her bags were still here, but she was gone. I pulled myself together and asked the question I'd been dreading most. "A month ago. Is there a Chinese man staying at your hotel?" "His name is Xu Yancheng." The receptionist checked her computer, then looked up and answered me. "Yes, he stayed 5 nights. 5 nights. That's 2 more than Lu Ning's 3. What room was he in?" 312. "And Lu Ning?" 315. "Same floor. 2 rooms apart." I stood there at the front desk, my mind buzzing. A thought hit me out of nowhere. My best friend and my husband were having an affair. No. My best friend Lu Ning and my husband Xu Yancheng. They'd booked rooms right next to each other in Thailand. But how could they possibly be having an affair? Lu Ning had always hated Xu Yancheng, not the polite to his face, trash him behind his back kind of hate. The kind where she didn't even bother hiding it. Every time I brought Xu Yancheng to a get-together, Lu Ning would barely acknowledge he existed. One time she had too much to drink, and she looked Xu Yancheng dead in the eye and said, "Shen Zhiyi's great She just has terrible taste in men." Xu Yancheng's face went white. After that, they never really looked at each other again. 2 people like that. There's no way they were sneaking around together in Thailand. So why was Xu Yancheng staying right next door to Lu Ning? What the hell was he doing there? I took a slow, deep breath and looked at the receptionist. "I need to pull the security footage from your hotel, that entire period. That's something we'd have to run by the manager." "Sure, and you may need to cooperate with the police." "Because my best friend has been missing for a month. No sign of her, alive or dead. This hotel might be one of the last places she was ever seen." "You think your manager is really going to say no to that?" The receptionist went quiet. Then she picked up the phone. 20 minutes later, the hotel's head of security walked me to the surveillance room. It was a small room, 3 walls, all screens. The head of security pulled up a month's worth of surveillance footage, starting from the day Lu Ning checked in. I sat there in their chair, staring at the screens, palms sweating like crazy. Day 1. Lu Ning walked into the hotel lobby, dragging her suitcase behind her. She checked in at the front desk. I watched her, white sundress, laughing and chatting with the receptionist. And then, in the bottom right corner of the frame, the lobby entrance, a man pushed through the door. To be continued. The man in the footage was wearing a dark blue t-shirt, a baseball cap, and a face mask. I recognized him by his build and the way he moved. It was Yancheng. He didn't go near the front desk. He just settled into one of the lobby sofas and held a magazine up in front of his face. But his eyes never left Lu Ning. From the moment she checked in, to when she got her key card, to when she stepped into the elevator, he watched her the whole time. A chill ran down my spine. Fast forward, he sped up the playback. The feed cut to the hotel entrance camera that same afternoon. 2 minutes after Lu Ning walked out, Yancheng followed. Same baseball cap, same face mask. He trailed her at about 20 feet back. That first evening, Lu Ning had dinner at the ground floor restaurant. Yancheng sat in the corner and ordered a coffee. His seat had a perfect line of sight to her table. She never noticed him, not once. Day 2, Lu Ning went out to visit a temple. Yancheng followed. That night, she hit up a night market. He followed her there too. She stopped at a street stall to buy a coconut, then crouched down to mess with a stray cat. Yancheng stood across the street outside a convenience store, pretending to scroll through his phone. In every single shot, every single frame with Lu Ning in it. Yancheng was right behind her. My hands started shaking. I looked again. Yancheng wasn't having an affair with Lu Ning. People having an affair walk side by side, share meals, get close to each other. But Yancheng had a mask on the whole time and kept his distance from Lu Ning. He never said a single word to her, not once. And Lu Ning had no idea he was even there. This wasn't an affair. This was stalking. I took a deep breath and asked the head of security. What about the third day? He pulled up the footage from the third day. I watched Lu Ning check out and leave the hotel that morning. Backpack on her shoulders, a map in her hand. Looking like she was in a great mood, the cameras caught her walking out the front entrance and heading east along the street. 2 minutes later, Yancheng slipped out through a side door and went the same direction. And then the footage just cut out. Hotel's security cameras only covered about 50 meters around the building. Beyond that, 50 meters out, I couldn't see a thing. Are there any other cameras? That's all we've got on our end. For street cameras, you'd have to go through the local police. I went quiet for a long time. Then I stood up, said thank you, and walked out of the security room. I stood at the hotel entrance and opened the map on my phone. I traced the route Lu Ning had taken, looking for landmarks heading that way. If you kept going east down that road, you'd pass a few streets, a market, a gas station, and at the very end, you'd hit the coast. A cliff overlooking the sea. I stared at that marker on the map, my fingers ice cold. A desperate thought kept creeping into my head. I had to prove myself wrong. I had to prove myself wrong. 为了证明自己是错的, I rented a motorcycle and rode about 40 minutes down that road. At the end of it was a wide open stretch of coastline. The wind was brutal, strong enough to knock you off your feet. The cliffs were steep, jagged rocks and crashing waves at the bottom. This wasn't a tourist spot. No railings, no warning signs, just a dirt path choked with weeds leading straight to the edge. I stood at the cliff's edge and looked down. Below was nothing but broken rocks and scrub brush, and a stretch of beach the tide had beaten raw. If someone went over here, they'd most likely hit the rocks on the way down, then get swept out by the surge. No time to even cry for help. I couldn't let myself go there. I started asking around the area. There was a small fishing village near the cliffs, just a handful of families scattered about. I went door to door with a photo of Lu Ning. Must have knocked on a dozen doors. Every single one shook their head. I was about to give up and head out when I spotted something near the big tree at the village entrance. A little boy, maybe 7 or 8 years old. He was wearing a dirty blue t-shirt, barefoot, sitting in the dirt playing with mud. Then I noticed what he had in his hand. A phone, pink case, with a little cat paw grip on the back. My mind went blank. That phone case? I gave that to Lu Ning. I picked it out myself online. Pink, with a cat paw stand. Because Lu Ning loved cats more than anything. I walked over to the boy and tried to keep my voice as steady as I could. Hey buddy, where'd you get that phone? The boy glanced up at me and instinctively hid the phone behind his back. Is it yours? His eyes darted away, still didn't say a word. I'm not gonna hurt you. I crouched down. I crouched down to meet his eyes. This phone belongs to my best friend. She lost it, and I've been looking everywhere for it. Can you tell me where you found it? The little boy pressed his lips together, still not saying a word, but I could see it in his eyes. Pure, raw fear. Did you see something that scared you? His lips trembled. Still nothing. I reached into my pocket and pulled out a few bills. Held them out to him. Tell me, okay? I'll get you something to eat. He looked at the money, then looked at me. He hesitated for a long moment, then said, very quietly, I found it at the bottom of the mountain. Which mountain? He raised his hand and pointed toward the cliff. My heart dropped. Besides the phone, did you find anything else? He went quiet again, his eyes darting away. You found something else, didn't you? Slowly, he reached behind his back and pulled something out. It was a wallet. White, leather, with a tiny little bow on it. I recognized it the second I saw it. That was Lu Ning's wallet, last Christmas. She'd spotted it at the mall, thought it was too expensive, and talked herself out of it. So I went back and bought it for her in secret. She was over the moon for a whole week. Now the wallet was caked in mud and water stains. The leather was cracked and splitting. I took it from him. My hands were shaking. I opened it, her bank card, her ID, and a photo of the two of us. All still there. Lu Ning would never just throw these things away. If they were at the bottom of that mountain, then where was she? Then where was she? Lu Ning's phone and wallet were found at the bottom of the cliff, but Lu Ning herself was nowhere to be found. I had to get down there and see for myself. My voice was shaking as I turned to the little boy. Can you take me to the spot? Where you found all this? The little boy shook his head hard. I was so desperate I could feel tears welling up. I dug through my bag and pulled out a few Thai baht notes. I'll pay you. Please, I'm begging you. The boy looked at my face, the panic, the pain, and finally got to his feet. Okay, miss, I'll take you. He walked ahead, and I followed close behind. The path got narrower with every step. The weeds grew taller and thicker, and then a strange smell started drifting through the air. My stomach turned. I just kept repeating it in my head, over and over. I'd rather Lu Ning had been sleeping with my husband. I'd rather she'd betrayed me. As long as she's still alive, none of the rest of it matters. We came to a clearing where the weeds stood waist high, and the little boy suddenly stopped. He turned back to look at me, his face gone pale. Miss, what is it? What's wrong? He pointed toward a low patch of overgrown grass just ahead. It smells really bad over there. I caught it then, that stench, just a few steps away. I knew. The truth was right there, just ahead of me, but I turned back. I didn't go any further. Because I needed professionals. I needed evidence. I grabbed the boy's hand and headed back to the fishing village. I pulled out my phone and called the local police. It took 3 tries before anyone picked up. The language barrier didn't help. I stumbled through it in broken English. Before they finally understood what I was saying. You're saying your friend might be at the bottom of a cliff? Yes, that's right. And what evidence do you have? Her phone and wallet were both found at the bottom of the cliff. He's been missing for a month. Please, you have to come look. The police said they'd send someone, but it was gonna take time. I hung up and called the search and rescue team. I'd looked them up before we left. There's a volunteer search and rescue team in Chiang Mai. They work with the police on mountain and jungle searches all the time. The rescue team was faster than the cops. They said they could be there by afternoon. The waiting was the hardest part. I sat on a rock at the edge of the fishing village, turning Lu Ning's wallet over and over in my hands. I couldn't move. I opened it and pulled out the photo. It was the two of us standing in front of the university, wearing our graduation gowns, laughing, arms around each other. Lu Ning was throwing up a peace sign. We were 22 that year. Lu Ning was my roommate all 4 years of college. We had bunk beds. Back then, she had the top bunk. Every night, she'd lean over the edge and talk to me. We'd go till 2, 3 in the morning. We talked about our dreams, the latest gossip, guys we liked, what our lives were gonna look like someday. The night of graduation, we finished off a whole bottle of red wine, lay on the rooftop and watch the stars. That was the night. She came up with the Zhao Feihu code. I never thought I'd actually need it. And now here I am, sitting in some little fishing village in Thailand, holding her wallet, waiting for a search and rescue team to find her. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the rescue team showed up with ropes and a stretcher. The police were an hour behind. Together, they went down over the cliff. I waited at the top. 3 hours went by. Nothing. The sky was starting to go dark. Someone from the rescue team radioed up. The terrain at the bottom of the cliff was rough. The brush is thick out there. We probably won't get through it all today. We'll have to pick it back up tomorrow. I rented a room in a fishing village. I sat by the window, staring out at the pitch-black sea. I didn't sleep all night. First thing the next morning, the search and rescue team headed back down. I stayed up top and waited. Around noon, a voice crackled through the walkie-talkie. We found something. The moment I heard those words, my legs gave out. I grabbed the walkie-talkie and asked what they'd found. What is it? Silence on the other end for a few seconds. Then they answered. A body. Female. I collapsed to the ground. The police asked me to come down to the station. I got on my motorcycle and rode in a daze. Felt like I was floating. I have no idea how many red lights I ran. I don't even know if I almost hit anyone. I was completely out of it. Somehow I ended up inside the police station. When I got there, the Tannic Circle Joe joined. A uniformed officer took me to identify the body. The face was severely damaged, probably from hitting the rocks on the way down. On top of that, she'd been out in the open for a month. It was nearly impossible to make a positive ID. He walked me into the morgue. Under a white sheet was the outline of a human body. And then I saw it, the daisy tattoo on her right wrist. My lips started trembling. The tears just came. That little daisy tattoo? We got them together our junior year. She got the daisy. I got the sunflower. She said a daisy means hidden love. I said a sunflower means I'll always face toward you. We both cried when it was done. I crumpled to the floor of the morgue, hand pressed over my mouth, sobbing so hard my whole body shook. Ning ning. The police took the little boy's phone as evidence. I waited at the station all day. That afternoon, a young officer came over with a strange look on his face and led me to his office. Lu Ning's phone was sitting on the desk. The screen was cracked, but it still lit up. Lu Ning always used her birthday as her passcode. The officer had already unlocked it. He opened the Notes app. There was only one entry. Dated the day she disappeared. It was a voice recording. The officer hit play. First came the sound of wind, clearly outdoors. Then Lu Ning's voice, hushed and urgent. Zhiyi, if you're hearing this, I'm in Chiang Mai right now. I found out something terrifying. Zhiyi Shi Yancheng is gambling. I ran into him completely by accident. Can you believe it? He's here, in Chiang Mai. I spotted him in the hotel lobby. He didn't see me, though. Something felt off, so I followed him for a bit. He led me to this hidden underground casino tucked away in some back alley. I got photos. I listened, my hand slowly curling into a fist. There was a brief pause in the recording. Then Lu Ning's voice came back. I did a little digging after that. Turns out he's buried in loan shark debt. We're talking serious money. Gee, I don't know if he's been using your money to gamble, but I'm pretty sure those investment deals he pitched you were all made up. I was going to tell you when I got home. I was scared that if I told you now, you'd fall apart. You're alone back there, and I'm worried, but another pause. Then her voice dropped so low, it was barely audible. Gee, I think he's on to me. I held my breath, every drop of blood in my body turning to ice. These past 2 days, I keep feeling like someone's following me. At first, I told myself I was just being paranoid. But today, at lunch, I was at a restaurant. I spotted someone sitting in the corner, wearing a dark navy t-shirt. He had a hat and a mask on, but I recognized the shoes. They were the ones Su Yancheng wore the last time he came to your place. I'm out by the cliff right now. I wanted somewhere quiet to get all of this on record. If something happens to me, you have to. That's where the recording cut out. Like something interrupted her mid-sentence. In that last half second, you could just barely make out a short, sharp scream, and then nothing. The officer took the phone back. I sat there, completely frozen, tears streaming down my face. Lu Ning had found out Xu Yancheng's secret. She wanted to tell me. She wanted to protect me. Yancheng figured out Lu Ning was following him. So he turned around and followed her instead. There, at that cliff, Yancheng killed Lu Ning just because she knew too much. Because she was going to tell me the truth. Yancheng made sure she never got the chance. I sat in my office, shaking from head to toe. All I had left for Yancheng was pure, burning hatred. He killed my best friend. He killed the one person in this world who cared about me most. And every single day, he could just sit there across from me, like nothing ever happened. Smiling, wishing me good night. He even had the nerve to ask me at dinner who Zhao Feihu was. He must have seen it on Lu Ning's phone. He'd gone through our messages, seen that name, Zhao Feihu, but had no idea what it meant. So he used it to test me. Well, if he wants to know who Zhao Feihu is, what does he agree to overcome? I'll show him. On the flight back from Thailand, I had the recording. I had the hotel records. I had the surveillance photos. But right as I was about to call the police, it hit me. The recording only proves that Lu Ning found out about Yancheng's gambling and that she felt like someone was following her. The hotel records only prove that Yancheng and Lu Ning stayed at the same hotel. The security footage only proves that Yancheng followed Lu Ning into the hotel. I couldn't find a single witness. No murder weapon, either. The victim's face was destroyed beyond recognition. The cause of death is still under investigation. Even if I went to the police right now, there's almost no chance they could make a case against Yancheng. I need direct evidence that he killed her. Because if I go to the cops now, all Yancheng has to do is stick to his story. Say he went to Thailand on vacation. That being at the same hotel as Lu Ning was pure coincidence. They'd hold him for a few days at most, then cut him loose for lack of evidence. And by then, he'd know his wife had figured everything out. A man who is willing to kill Lu Ning. Once he finds out his wife knows all his secrets, what would he do? I don't even want to think about it, so I can't tip him off. Not yet. I need more evidence. His gambling, his loan sharks, every crime he's ever committed. I need to dig it all up. Build a complete airtight case. Then take him down all at once. Make sure he never gets out. The plane landed. By the time I got home, Yancheng was already in the kitchen cooking. He heard me come in and looked over with a smile. Hey, you're back. How'd the trip go? Pretty smooth, actually. I slipped off my shoes, put my suitcase away, and walked over to him. I glanced into the pot. Braised pork ribs, my favorite. I smiled and asked, "What's the occasion?" "I missed you." He turned to look at me. He kissed me on the forehead. The second his lips touched my skin, my stomach turned. These hands that killed my best friend were in the kitchen cooking me dinner. That face, so warm, so gentle. A month ago, at the edge of that cliff, he pushed Lu Ning over. "Thank you." When he turned to wash his hands, I caught my own reflection in the mirror. "Shen Zhiyi, keep it together. Don't let him see how much you hate him. You're setting a trap. And this trap cannot fail." From that day on, I started digging, quietly, on my own. During the day, Yancheng left for work like nothing was wrong. Once the house went completely quiet, I went straight to his study, sat down at his computer, and typed in the password I'd always used. The second I hit enter, the screen flashed, wrong password. My heart sank. I tried again, over and over. Same result every time. He'd changed it, without a word. A wave of dread washed over me. My mind started racing. Out of nowhere. Why would he suddenly change his password? Had he figured out I was onto him? Or was there something on that computer he needed to hide? After hitting a dead end on my own, I reached out to a friend who does IT work and asked him to come over and crack the password for me. Once he got it unlocked, I forced myself to stay calm and went through every file one by one. Chat logs, work documents. I combed through all of it. On the surface, nothing looked out of place. Just when I was about to give up, I stumbled onto a hidden folder. The moment I opened it, I froze. Inside were bank records he'd exported, his personal transaction history. I forced myself to stay calm and started going through the files line by line. Then, from somewhere down the quiet hallway, came the slow, deliberate sound of footsteps. One step at a time, getting closer to the study. Closer and closer to the door. I panicked. No time to close the hidden folder. All I could do was hit the power button. and throw myself over the desk, pretending to be asleep. The door handle clicked.
虚言穷迫使的多肉本 unravels.
My heart shot straight up into my throat. My fingers were trembling, but I didn't dare move a muscle. He rested one hand gently on my back and asked softly, "Why'd you fall asleep in here? You're gonna catch a cold." I paused, rubbed my eyes, and pretended to wake up. "Oh, honey, you're home." I was reading and just dozed off. Xu Yancheng curled his finger and tapped the tip of my nose, smiling as he said, "Too tired to find a real bed?" I forced a little laugh, my eyes drifting to the powered-off computer. He followed my gaze toward it and reached out to touch it. My breath caught. I grabbed his wrist and pulled him close, playing it cute. "Babe, I'm starving." "I want that sour broth noodle soup you make. Will you make it for me, please?" I tugged him toward the door. "You and that appetite of yours." Barely awake and already thinking about food, I kept pulling him, picking up the pace toward the kitchen. After dinner, while Zhu Yancheng was in the shower, I copied his bank transaction records. Going through them carefully, I found a long string of transfers with no clear explanation. 30,000, 50, 80, 120, all going to the same account. I followed that account and kept digging. I traced it back to a company called Yancheng Investments. The registered address was a residential unit in an urban village, a front for an underground gambling operation. The legal owner on record, a guy named Wang Debiao. I kept digging to find out how much Xu Yancheng actually owed. What I found made my stomach drop. Hidden inside a false panel in Xu Yancheng's study, I found 7 loan shark IOUs. The interest rates were absolutely insane. The total came to over 3 million. We only paid 2,800,000 for this house. He'd gambled our home away. I also found out he'd used another property, the one my parents left me, as collateral for a loan of 1.5 million. My signature on the documents had been forged. My hands were shaking as I read through all of it, but I kept telling myself, stay calm. I photographed every IOU, every bank statement, every transfer record, every mortgage agreement. 3 copies, backed up in 3 places. 1 on my phone, 1 in the cloud. Following the trail back to Yancheng Investments, I tracked down the location of the underground casino. It was in a basement inside an industrial park on the edge of the city. To be safe, I didn't go anywhere near the place. Instead, I slipped into an online group of people who had been burned by Yancheng Investments and were fighting back. Over 30 members in total. Some had lost hundreds of thousands. Others had lost over 1 million. One person in particular caught my eye. Someone who went by Old He. I remembered Xu Yancheng once mentioning that someone with the last name He at his company had accused him of embezzling company funds. The investigation eventually cleared him. But was Xu Yancheng really innocent? I wasn't so sure anymore. I posed as an investigator from Xu Yancheng's company and sent Old He a contact request. The very first message I got back sent a chill straight down my spine. "I'm not Old He. Old He is dead." The person who accepted my request was Old He's wife, a woman named Sister Zhang. Earlier that year, he had discovered that Xu Yancheng had embezzled around 500,000 from the company, and then reported it to the company. The company launched an investigation the moment they got the tip. Xu Yancheng was called in for questioning. But unfortunately, the investigation had barely been going 2 days when Old He got into a car accident. It happened on a rainy night. He was riding his scooter home from work when a black car with no plates hit him from behind. He died on the spot. The driver fled immediately. They were never caught. The company's investigation into Xu Yancheng fell apart after the key witness died. The whole thing just went away. As I listened to Old He's wife tell the story, a chill ran straight down my spine. My gut was telling me, Lu Ning wasn't the first person Xu Yancheng had killed. Old He was. Years ago, Xu Yancheng got his first taste of it. He figured out that killing someone could make all his problems disappear. So when Lu Ning found out about his gambling in Thailand, he didn't hesitate. He did it again. Years ago, the one who found out Xu Yancheng was embezzling company funds? Dead. A month ago, the one who found out about his gambling? Dead too. And now I'm the 3rd person who knows his secret. I was sitting there staring at my phone, completely zoned out. I didn't even notice the bedroom door had already swung open. I looked up, and there was Xu Yancheng staring right at my phone screen. My whole body froze. He reached out and ran his hand through my hair and asked softly, "What are you spacing out about?" I glanced down and saw the screen had gone black. I let out a quiet breath. I looked up and smiled at him. Nothing. I just suddenly started missing Lu Ning. I have no idea where he even went. The moment he heard Lu Ning's name, something flickered across Yancheng's face, but he pulled it together fast. Don't overthink it. Maybe his phone died. Just give it a little time. He'll reach out. It's getting late. Come on, let's get some sleep. He lay down on his side of the bed, rolled over with his back to me, and his breathing evened out almost right away. I just lay there staring at his back. My fingers curled tight around the blanket. Inside, I was burning with a hatred I couldn't even put into words. He killed her, his coworker, my best friend. And here he was, lying right next to me, sleeping like a normal person, peaceful, unbothered. I closed my eyes, but sleep wouldn't come. I lay there until past midnight, then slipped out of bed as quietly as I could, grabbed my phone, snuck into the bathroom, and locked the door behind me. I opened WeChat and pulled up Yancheng's photo. I sent it to Zhang, old He's wife. Do you recognize this man? Do you know who he is? She got back to me fast. Yeah, I know him. That's him. He's the one old He reported after old He's accident. He actually came by the house to pay his respects, brought 5,000 yuan. Said it was from the company, a condolence payment. In Yancheng's mind, a human life was worth 5 grand. The night old He died. Did anyone see the car that hit him? One neighbor said they saw a black sedan, but it was too dark. They couldn't make it out clearly. That's when it hit me. A year ago, Yancheng had been driving a black Volkswagen Passat. He said he got tired of it and traded it in for the white Honda he drives now. Now I finally understood why he switched cars. I saved everything, all of it. Zhang's account, the messages, Yancheng's vehicle records, every last piece. I reached out to a criminal defense attorney, a woman named Feng Lei. She went through every document I brought her, then sat in silence for a long time. Finally, she looked up at me. And what she said knocked the wind right out of me. Feng Lei set down the files. The evidence you have only proves that your husband, Yancheng, was gambling, took out loan shark money, and forged your signature to mortgage the property. That's enough for gambling and fraud charges. But it doesn't prove he killed anyone. The embezzlement, Lao He's accident, Lu Ning's death, none of it has direct evidence. The car swap records only show he switched vehicles. They don't prove it was the car that caused the accident. Lao He's wife's testimony is circumstantial at best. And the neighbor couldn't make out the license plate. She paused, then added with a look of sympathy. On top of that, the property he mortgaged. It's jointly owned. It belongs to both of you. If he's convicted, that apartment gets seized and auctioned off to pay off his gambling debts and the loan sharks. You won't see a single cent. You'll end up with nothing. No home, no money. I looked up and said, as steady as I could, I'm not afraid of losing everything. I just want to put that monster behind bars and get justice for my best friend. Feng Lei looked at me, quiet for a few seconds, then gave a slow nod. All right, then we need to find direct evidence. The next day, Feng Lei and I went to Lao He's place, posing as investigators from Yancheng's company. The moment his wife, Sister Zhang, started talking about him, the tears came. He was good to me and the kids, always. And now he's gone. No income coming in. I can't even cover the kids' tuition. The landlord's on my case every single day about rent, and I have to count every penny just to buy groceries. My heart sank. I reached into my bag, pulled out a card, and slid it across to her. There's 100,000 in there, my own money. Ma'am, this is a condolence payment from the company for Lao He's family. Please, take it. She froze for a second, then started waving her hands. No, no, no. I can't accept this. I reached out and took her hand. You've earned every penny of it. Her eyes welled up again. She stopped pushing back and took the card. After he passed, did he leave anything behind? Anything work-related? It could be a key piece of evidence. She turned and dug through the cabinet, pulling out an old USB drive. She was about to hand it to me, then suddenly pulled it back. She stared at me, her voice sharp and cold. Who are you? After he died, she'd been quietly looking into Yancheng on her own. She recognized me as his wife. Her whole expression changed. You, You're that bastard's wife? Before I could get a word out, she slammed the card down on the floor. Take it back. I don't want your dirty money. Did you come here to destroy the evidence? No, please, just hear me out. Let me explain. I bent down to pick up the card. She spun around, grabbed the broom by the door, and swung it straight at me. Get out. Get the hell out of my house. I stepped back, but not fast enough. The broom caught me across the arm. It stung like hell. Feng Lei jumped in and grabbed her. Hey, easy, okay? Just calm down. She stood there, broom raised, chest heaving, glaring at me. I pulled out the evidence I'd put together and held it out to her. Yancheng gambled away every cent we had. He forged my signature and mortgaged our house. I'm about to lose everything too. My best friend, her name was Lu Ning. My voice started to crack. She found out what Yancheng was hiding, and he had her killed for it. Just like he did to your husband. They were both killed because of Yancheng. Sister Zhang froze for a second. She lowered the broom slightly. I stepped closer to her and looked her straight in the eyes. Sister Zhang, I'm not here to protect him. I'm here to put him away. For Lu Ning, and for old he. Sister Zhang slowly lowered her hand. Her eyes went red again. She was quiet for a moment. Then she held out the USB drive. Her voice came out rough. Take it. I took the drive from her. My eyes were stinging too. Thank you. Really. Thank you. The drive had everything old. He put together every penny that was embezzled, all of it. Hard evidence. The real thing. But if I sent it straight to the company, there was no telling whose hands it'd end up in. If Yancheng got to it first, it'd all be for nothing. I kept turning it over in my head. Finally, I pulled up my contacts and found a name. I made the call. Yancheng had a bitter rival at the company, a guy named Lin Fei. He'd brought him up more than once when he was drunk. I never forgot it. That night, while Yancheng was in the shower, I grabbed his phone off the coffee table, opened his contacts, found Lin Fei's number, and quietly wrote it down. The next day, I met up with Feng Lei and called Lin Fei. Mr. Lin, I have proof that Yancheng embezzled company funds. Tonight at 8 o'clock, the parking garage under your building. Come alone. 2 seconds of silence on the other end. Who is this? That doesn't matter. You want to take Yancheng down? Then this is exactly what you need. And with that, I hung up. Half an hour later, Feng Lei and I headed down to the company's underground parking garage. We stayed hidden in the shadows around the corner, out of sight. It wasn't long before Lin Fei came pulling in. He got out and scanned the area, cautious, alert. Once he was sure no one was around, he walked over to the fire safety box and found the envelope I'd left there. Feng Lei and I watched from the car as he picked it up. Then we got out of there fast. The next evening, I came home from work and found Yancheng slumped on the couch, looking completely defeated. I played the concerned wife. Hey, you look terrible. What's going on? He looked up, irritated and worn down. Someone at the company filed a complaint against me. I got suspended today. I've got no idea who's got it out for me. I sat down next to him and put on my most caring voice. Honey, I believe in you. I know who you are. Once the investigation wraps up, they'll bring you back. I'm sure of it. Use this time to decompress a little. Don't overthink it. I rubbed his back gently. But inside, I felt nothing but ice. Yancheng, this is just the beginning. I'm going to tear down your career, your reputation, everything, with my own 2 hands. I'll make you feel every last bit of it. Before I watch you hit rock bottom, no way out. Reporting Yancheng for embezzlement was just my opening move. Next, I needed hard evidence that he was the one who killed old he. Feng Lei introduced me to old Liu, who worked at the DMV. He'd been in the records department for over 20 years. When it came to vehicle files, the man could dig up anything. I laid it all out for him, the receipt showing Yancheng bought a black Volkswagen Passat, the timeline of when he sold it, and the rough sale price. Every detail, start to finish. After old he's accident, less than 2 weeks later, Yancheng quietly sold the car for way below market value. Old Leo took the paper records I handed him, and his expression went dead serious, fleeing the scene and then rushing to dump the car. That's suspicious as hell. A move like that, 9 times out of 10, means he was trying to destroy evidence. We did suspect there were impact marks left on the car. paint scrapes, maybe even trace evidence that's nearly impossible to clean off. He sold it to make sure he wiped out every last piece of evidence tying him to the crash. Old Liu pulled up the internal record system right away and typed in the VIN to pull the full transfer history. Any normal used car sale keeps notes on the vehicle's condition. Repair logs. Inspection reports from before and after the transfer. First, I'll find out who bought it, then track down where the car ended up. Records started populating on the screen one by one. Yancheng's sale info was suspiciously sloppy. Buyer details were vague. The transfer was rushed through. And the sale price was way below market for that make and year. Classic signs of someone desperate to unload it fast. The whole thing, he just wanted it gone. Got it. The buyer was an out-of-town used car dealer. The car got flipped again after that and ended up with a private owner in a neighboring city. Can you track the car's current location? And are there any repair or repaint records after the transfer? Old Liu kept working the keyboard and pulled up the post-sale repair filings. There's a record. Less than a week after the sale, the car went in for a full deep polish job. The front bumper and headlights were completely replaced and refinished. The hood got a repaint and touch-up too. So basically, all the damage from the impact got buried under those repairs. My stomach dropped. Had Yancheng actually managed to erase every trace of what he'd done? A refinish only covers surface damage. The internal wear, the hairline cracks from the impact, plus whatever's lodged in the gaps under the chassis. That stuff doesn't just disappear in a few days. If we can track down that car and get a proper forensic exam done, we'll have the key evidence we need. I let out a breath I didn't know I'd been holding. Fang Lei looked at me with steady, certain eyes. Next step, we pin down where that car is right now. File for an inspection order. Impound it and pull the evidence. Yancheng sending the car off and getting it fixed up would make the whole thing disappear without a trace. What he didn't realize was that his rushed little cover-up was nothing but wishful thinking. Less than 2 days later, we found the car sitting in a yard behind a self-built house on the edge of town. We tracked down the owner, too. Last name Meng, local freight driver. I thought we were home free. Then the guy threw up a wall. Old Meng leaned against the doorframe, heard us out, and slowly blew a smoke ring. You got the wrong guy. I haven't touched that car in ages. Fang Lei held up her badge and the paperwork. Mr. Meng, all we need is a technical inspection of the vehicle. If you cooperate, this will be over before you know it. An inspection? That car came with full documentation when I bought it. The transfer was completely above board. What grounds do you have to inspect anything? You got a warrant? Fang Lei frowned. Are you still in contact with the previous owner? If old Meng had any connection to Yancheng, there was no question I'd be his next target. Old Meng's eyes shifted. He turned his head away, dodging our gaze. Then he stepped forward, his voice hard and irritated. I don't know anything about any previous owner. Not a damn thing. No warrant, no entry. Stop hanging around my door. I've got work to do. Get lost. Fang Lei and I exchanged a look. It was obvious old Meng was dodging the question. But he wasn't budging, and we had no leverage. We didn't have the paperwork to back a search. There's no way to force a vehicle inspection. But if I call the cops and get them involved, Yancheng will know I'm digging into him. And then I become his next target. On the drive back from the next city over, I didn't say a word. Fang Lei tried to cheer me up. If one door's closed, find another one. There's no way Yancheng managed to cut every single link in the chain. But I knew, the longer this drags on, the harder it'll be to reopen Lao He's case. By the time I got home, it was almost 10 at night. I pushed open the door. The living room light was on. Yancheng was sitting on the couch, scrolling through his phone. He glanced up at me, his voice completely flat. Home late tonight. I froze mid-reach for my shoes. Dinner with a client. It ran long. He set his phone down and got up, heading toward the dining table. Which client? Want me to have the kitchen heat up some porridge for you? No, I already ate. I avoided his eyes and headed straight for the stairs. Yancheng stepped in front of me, looking down, eyes locked on mine, a faint smile playing at the corner of his mouth. Honey, have you been hiding something from me lately? He was testing me. By now, I'd seen right through that gentle act of his, the cruelty underneath it. The softer and calmer his voice got, the more suspicious he was. What could I possibly be hiding from you? You sure about that? I casually ran a hand through my hair, keeping my tone light, almost teasing. Babe, have you just been bored at home lately? You're always overthinking things. Maybe you need a vacation. Clear your head. How about Chiang Mai? The smile on his face froze. His pupils contracted. A flash of panic crossed his eyes. Gone in an instant. He tugged at his collar like nothing happened and kept his voice easy. Chiang Mai's too far. I'm not really in the mood to travel. Things at the company are almost wrapped up. I'll be back at work soon. My heart lurched. A chill shot down my spine. The evidence old he had kept, proof that Yancheng had embezzled, every piece of it, complete, the whole chain, intact. There's no way it just vanishes. Unless Yancheng found a way to make it all disappear. I played dumb. Kept my voice soft, feeling him out. That fast? Do they even know who's coming after you? He looked down, his tone flat, almost bored. Probably Lin Fei. My heart dropped. Old He's case was still unresolved. The caterpillar creef may have sent it into And now Yancheng had his sights set on Lin Fei. Odds were he'd pull the same move again. Get rid of Lin Fei. I was sleeping next to a killer. By 2 a.m, Yancheng suddenly shifted beside me. I froze. I shut my eyes and pretended to be asleep. He got up and left the bedroom. I slowly pulled back the covers and slipped out of bed, barefoot. I crept to the door and pressed my ear against it. From the living room, the sound of water being poured. Then it hit me. Yancheng never drinks water in the middle of the night. 5 years I'd known him, and that had never once changed. Was he actually just getting a drink? Or was he planning something? Fear rose inside me, wave after wave, growing with every passing second. If he'd figured out I was digging into him, he could silence me at any moment. But I couldn't call the police, not yet. In a panic, I made a call. Yancheng's footsteps were getting closer. My heart seized up. No time to think. I rushed back to bed, yanked the covers over myself, squeezed my eyes shut, and went completely rigid. The footsteps stopped right at the bedside. Dead silence filled the room, suffocating. Honey? Yancheng reached over and shook my shoulder. I was trembling all over, too scared to open my eyes. When he saw I wasn't moving, he must have figured I was out cold. I cracked my eyes open just a sliver, and my heart nearly stopped. He was holding a knife. My pulse went through the roof. I broke into a cold sweat. All I could do was fake a sleepy rollover. He saw me move and called my name again. Zhiyi, Zhiyi. I kept playing dead. Every nerve in my body was screaming. If I opened my eyes right then, he might swing that knife at me. Just as I felt him closing in again, I heard the front door burst open from down the hall. Fang Lei came rushing in with a nurse. Yancheng reacted fast. He hid the knife behind his back and played it cool, like nothing was going on. He looked at Fang Lei and the nurse, brow furrowed, voice dripping with suspicion. Who are you people? Why are you barging into my house in the middle of the night? I took my chance. I slowly opened my eyes, doing my best impression of someone groggy and half asleep. I rasped out in a weak voice, Honey, my head's been killing me all night. I woke up and you weren't there, and I just felt so awful. So I had a friend call someone to come check on me. I kept my hands pressed over my head. Fang Lei glanced at me and immediately turned to the nurse behind her. Get her on the ambulance, now! Yancheng opened his mouth, but ultimately didn't try to stop us. Fang Lei and the nurse helped me up, and we moved quickly out of the bedroom, through the living room, and out the front door. We headed downstairs. Just as I was getting into the ambulance, Yancheng came out in fresh clothes. He grabbed the door handle and spoke up. I'm her husband. I'm coming with her. My heart sank. I nearly cried out. Fang Lei stepped in front of the door, her face stone cold. Only one person can ride along. I forced myself up and said weakly, Honey, don't worry about me. Fang Lei's here. She'll take good care of me. Just stay home and get some rest. I'll call you when it's light out. Yancheng frowned, like he still had something to say, and then his phone rang. Fang Lei shouted to the driver. Close it up and go. The nurse reached out and blocked the door. Stepping right in front of Xu Yancheng, the door slammed shut. The engine turned over. Su Yancheng was left on the curb, answering his phone. That call had been arranged by Fang Lei. She'd seen it coming. She knew Xu Yancheng would try to follow me. Fang Lei let out a long, slow breath and leaned in close, dropping her voice. God, that scared the hell out of me. I exhaled too, and told her everything about the knife I'd seen earlier. When I finished, Fang Lei gripped my hand tight. Zhiyi, it's way too dangerous for you to keep living with Xu Yancheng. The most urgent thing right now, you need to move out. First thing the next morning, I grabbed my phone and called Xu Yancheng. Honey, my mom's not feeling well. I need to go stay with her for a while. There were a few seconds of silence on his end. When are you coming back? His voice was flat, completely unreadable. Depends on how she's doing. He went quiet again for a moment, then gave a soft and hung up. Fang Lei saw me end the call and jumped right in. While he's still in the dark, let's get moving. But what if old Liu won't cooperate? If he won't play ball, we wait till he's out and check the truck ourselves. What if he shows up out of nowhere? That's why we need to time it right. Fang Lei grabbed my arm and pulled me toward the door, already talking. First, we figure out his driving schedule. Find a day he's on a long haul and go then. Over the next 2 days, Fang Lei had someone tail old Meng. On the third day, around noon, she called me. Old Meng just picked up a long-distance load. He's heading out this afternoon. Won't be back till tomorrow night. I hung up, changed my clothes, and was waiting downstairs outside the office for Fang Lei when I glanced down and saw a message from Xu Yancheng. Is your mom feeling any better? I'd like to come see her. My hand jerked. I nearly dropped my phone. I stared at that message, no idea how to respond, when a white Honda pulled up right in front of me. Xu Yancheng rolled down the window and called my name. Zhiyi, get in. My stomach dropped. I forced a smile onto my face and slowly walked toward him. Every step, I kept telling myself, don't get in that car. Once I'm in, there's no getting out. But I couldn't let him see me trying to avoid him. The panic inside me kept building. Just as my hand touched the door handle, I heard tires screech behind me. I glanced back. It was Fang Lei's car. She'd pulled up right next to Xu Yancheng's. Something snapped in me. I let go of the handle, spun around, and ran. I yanked open Fang Lei's door and threw myself in. Go, now. Fang Lei floored it, and we shot out into the street. In the rearview mirror, I saw Xu Yancheng shove his door open and climb out, watching us until we disappeared. His face was stone cold. Fang Lei didn't slow down until we were 2 blocks out. I finally let out a breath. I pulled out my phone and texted Xu Yancheng. Hey, sorry about that, honey. I had dinner plans with Fang Lei. Totally slipped my mind. Go on home without me. I'll find my own way back. It took a while, but he finally replied. 1 word. Fine. Too calm. The kind of calm that makes your skin crawl. Fang Lei glanced at me. Didn't say a word, just kept driving. I instinctively looked back. My stomach dropped. In the distance, that white Honda, keeping pace, unhurried. Xu Yancheng's car? He hadn't left at all. In the rearview mirror, Xu Yancheng's white Honda hung behind us like a shadow. We couldn't shake. Not passing, not closing in. Just sitting there, 2 or 3 car lengths back, steady and patient. Cold sweat crawled down my spine. He's been following us. Fang Lei glanced at the rearview mirror, her grip tightening on the steering wheel. Shen Zhiyi, we can't check the car right now. Right. The second he realizes we're deliberately avoiding him, they're in flock. He's gonna get suspicious. And then that car gets wiped clean. We won't find a thing. Fang Lei went quiet for a few seconds, then yanked the steering wheel hard. The car swung onto a busy commercial street. Traffic closed in around us instantly. She kept weaving between lanes, cutting in and out of the flow. Every move, sharp and precise. I kept my eyes locked on the rearview mirror, watching that white Honda get swallowed up by traffic. The moment a gap opened up, Fang Lei floored it and cut into a side alley. The alleys twisted in every direction, bypassing the main road entirely. A few minutes later, I looked back. That white car that had been glued to us, gone. The tension drained out of me all at once. My back was soaked through with cold sweat, We lost him. Fang Lei glanced over at me. Tomorrow we go check the car. What if Yancheng follows us again? Fang Lei smiled, completely confident. He won't. I've been running a parallel investigation through his company. Tomorrow they'll call him in. I told her she was something else, a real pro. Sharp as they come. The following afternoon, I met up with Fang Lei and a tech guy she knew. We steered clear of every camera blind spot and made it to the target vehicle without a hitch. A refurbished car is designed to hide things: surface dents, scratches, chipped paint. To an untrained eye, it looks completely fine, but the damage from a collision never stays just on the surface. The wear on the internal frame, the metal components, the hairline cracks hiding underneath, those aren't things you can fix overnight. And then there's what gets trapped in the gaps under the chassis: dust, paint flakes, trace residue. Hidden in the shadows, traces that never fully disappear. Every single one of them could be the key evidence that blows this case wide open. The tech crouched down alongside the car, shining a flashlight into the gap beneath the chassis, then used tweezers to pull out a few dark reddish flakes and drop them into an evidence bag. Dried blood. And it's been there a while. Fang Lei bent down, squinting for a closer look. Can you pin down a time frame? At least a year. The tech moved to the inside of the front bumper, running a cotton swab along the edge of a dent. More over here. It's soaked into the metal seam. No car wash is getting that out. My heart slammed in my chest. He pulled back the wheel arch liner and pointed to a faint but warped crease along the impact bar. That kind of deformation, that's not from a scrape. That's what happens when you hit a body. The force is concentrated. The shape is distinctive. The tech tapped along the sealant at the edge of the windshield. And this car's had the front windshield replaced. The factory adhesive marks don't match. Timing lines up too, about a year ago. Fang Lei stood up and looked at me. That's enough. She pulled out her phone and documented every step of the evidence collection. The lighting, the angles, the exact positions. All of it, captured clean. The tech finished up by pulling paint chips and fiber residue from the gaps in the chassis. Carefully sealed everything and sent it off for analysis. If any of it matches the victim's DNA or clothing fibers, that's ironclad. I stared at that white Honda, my nails digging into my palm. And then, footsteps behind us, steady, unhurried. I didn't turn around, but Fang Lei's expression changed in an instant. The footsteps stopped right behind us. A middle-aged man's voice cut through the silence. What the hell are you doing to my car? I turned around. Old Liu was standing about 10 feet away, his eyes sweeping over the evidence bags in our hands. He let out a cold laugh and pulled out his phone. I'm calling the cops. Nobody move. Positive, a passive. The tech guy clicked off his flashlight and shot us a look. Fang Lei grabbed my sleeve and whispered, Run. We bolted. Old Liu chased us a few steps, cursing under his breath as he dialed. We rounded the corner. Fang Lei's car was parked 50 meters out. She floored it. We took the evidence straight to the lab. Fang Lei handed everything over to a testing facility she trusted. Rush order. Fastest turnaround, 3 days. Those 3 days felt like 3 years. Yancheng kept calling, one after another, pushing me to come home. Fang Lei could see how on edge I was. Just hang in there. The report's out tomorrow at the latest. Another day crawled by. Fang Lei and I were sitting in a cafe, waiting on the results, when my phone suddenly buzzed. 2 words lit up the screen. Mom. I picked up. Before I could even say hello, her voice came blasting through the phone. Honey, get home right now. On the other end of the line, Mom sounded frantic and furious. Yancheng was just here. He said you haven't been taking care of me at all lately. That you've been lying to him this whole time. He asked me if you're seeing someone else. Said you never come home anymore. What is going on with you? I opened my mouth, but before I could get a word in, Mom started crying. Baby, just tell me the truth. Are you cheating on him? Don't do anything stupid, okay? Mom, I didn't. I gripped my phone tight. It's not what you think. I'll explain everything when I get back. I hung up. I felt ice cold all over. Yancheng, that bastard played it perfectly. He dragged my mom into this to flesh me out. Fang Lei put her hand over mine. The forensic report's almost ready. Just hang on a little longer. I shook my head. My mom's home alone. I'm scared he'll go after her. Just then, Fang Lei's phone buzzed. She glanced down at it. Her eyes went wide. The report's in. The blood and fiber from the car? It's a perfect DNA match to the victim from a year ago. Before I could even process that, her phone rang again. She picked up and listened for a few seconds. The color drained completely from Fang Lei's face. She slowly lowered the phone and looked at me. From Thailand. Lu Ning's autopsy report just came back. The cause of death wasn't the fall. There was blunt force trauma to the back of his skull. He was knocked out first, then pushed off the cliff. It was murder. The air felt like it had been sucked out of the room. I just stood there, frozen. Those two words kept echoing in my head. It was murder. He was murdered. Ning didn't fall. Someone killed him. I bolted back to the car, dropped into the driver's seat, and slammed my fists into the steering wheel. Once, twice, 3 times.
How much did it hurt, Ning?
How scared were you? Fang Lei pulled open the car door and held me tight. He'll see us. Good, let him. I wiped my tears away and lifted my head, nothing left in my eyes but cold. We have enough evidence. Call the police. Fang Lei nodded and dialed right then and there. The moment the call connected, my phone buzzed. A text from Yancheng. Just one line. Your mom's with me. Come alone. That's all it said. Fang Lei read it over my shoulder. Her face went dark. You can't go by yourself. He has my mom. I pulled open the car door. I have to go. Call the police. Have them follow you. I shook my head. He said if he sees anyone else, my mom's in danger. Fang Lei clenched her jaw. Then I'll hang back. Keep my distance. Keep your phone on. I drove back to my mom's place and pushed open the door. Yancheng was sitting on the couch. My mom stood nearby, eyes red. Baby, you're finally here. Mom jumped up and grabbed my hand. Yancheng said you haven't been home in days. You won't even pick up the phone. What on earth have you been doing? Yancheng looked at me, his expression frighteningly calm. Gee, you told me you were taking care of your mom, but she says you never showed up. He stood up and stepped toward me. You. Just rearrange the world. Are you seeing someone else? I take a deep breath, forcing myself to stay calm. No, I've just been swamped with a project lately. I didn't get a chance to tell you about it. Yancheng narrows his eyes. A project? Yeah. I reach into my bag and pull out a stack of documents and hand them to him. My classmate's husband is an investment. He's got a commercial real estate deal on the table right now. Really strong returns. But it needs a partner's signature to move forward. Yancheng takes the documents and flips through them. His eyes scan back and forth across the pages, and his brow slowly furrows. Triple the return on investment. Down payment's $1 million. He looks up at me, and that look cuts right through me like a blade. Where are you getting $1 million from? My heart seizes. I borrowed part of it from Fang Lei. Saved up the rest myself. This is a rare opportunity. I don't want to miss it. Yancheng stares at me for a long moment. Then he sets the documents down and smiles. All right, when do we go take a look? My heart skips a beat. Day after tomorrow, afternoon, 12th floor of Dingsheng Tower, east side of the city. That's where the company's based. Sounds good. He picks up his teacup and takes a sip. Like nothing happened at all. Mom lets out a quiet sigh of relief beside us. Oh, so it's just business stuff. I thought you two were fighting. Yancheng laughs and drapes his arm around my shoulder. Mom, don't worry. Ji and I are just fine. His hand rests on my shoulder. Warm, firm, but all I feel is sick. Those hands, after pushing Lu Ning away that night. Yancheng stayed at my mom's place. I slept in the room next door, with the door locked from the inside. In the middle of the night, I heard him on the phone out in the hallway. His voice was barely above a whisper. Give me 3 more days. The money will be there, I promise. Don't push me. I held my breath and pressed my ear against the door. He hung up and just stood there in the hallway for a long time. Then he walked over and tried the handle on my door. Locked. He paused for a few seconds Then his footsteps slowly faded away. I leaned against the door, shaking all over. First thing the next morning, I made up an excuse about needing to prep some project files and got out of my mom's place. Fang Lei was waiting for me downstairs. So, how'd it go? He took the bait. Day after tomorrow, 2 p.m., Dingsheng Tower. I've got it all set up. 6 plainclothes officers will be in position ahead of time. I turned and looked out the window. He was on the phone with a loan shark last night. He's desperate for money. A desperate man will grab at anything he can. I closed my eyes. Day after tomorrow, it'll all be over. The waiting was the hardest part. The third day, around noon, I started getting ready. Fang Lei helped me finalize the last version of the fake project files. Every detail was airtight. I'll have the camera set up in the next room. All you have to do is keep him there for 5 minutes. I nodded. My palms were soaked with sweat. What if he gets suspicious? Fang Lei went quiet for a moment. We'll just have to wing it. Remember, the cops are right next door. All you have to do is call out, and they'll come running. I take a deep breath and get in the car. 12th floor, Dingsheng Tower. The office had been set up in advance. I sit down at the desk, 2 contracts and a pen laid out in front of me. Fang Lei is in the next room, watching the monitors. Her voice comes through my earpiece. Picture's clear. Audio's good. I reach into my pocket and check my phone. Then send Yancheng a message. I'm here. Head straight up to the 12th floor. He replies with 1 word. Got it. The seconds tick by. 2 o'clock sharp. The elevator doesn't move. 2:05. Cdrama. Pretext second. Randomized. 2:08. My heart sinks a little more with every passing second. He's not actually going to bail on me, is he? 2:10. The elevator doors finally open. Yancheng steps out. Gray suit. Tie knotted tight. Hair combed back without a single strand out of place. He looks sharp, pulled together. Nothing like a guy who's got loan sharks breathing down his neck. He pushes the door open and scans the office. I'm the only one sitting at the desk. Where is everybody? Not here yet. Come on in. Have a seat. He sits down and takes a look around, sizing up the decor. Not bad. Place looks decent enough. A few seconds of silence. Then he looks right at me and smiles. That smile sent a chill straight down my spine. Zhiyi. Is this deal even legit? My heart started pounding. I glanced toward the door, wondering to myself, where the hell are they? Who's the registered owner of this company? My classmate's husband? He's completely trustworthy. What's his name? My stomach dropped. The name was right there in the file. I just couldn't pull it up off the top of my head. Last name's Chen. Yancheng was staring at me. The smile slowly drained from his face. The air in the room went dead still. And then, the door opened. It wasn't the investors. It was 2 uniformed cops. The look on Yancheng's face, I'll never forget it as long as I live. Confusion, then shock, then pure terror. All of it in under a second. Yancheng, you're under suspicion of murder. We're placing you under arrest. He shot to his feet. His chair flew back and cracked against the floor. He spun around and bolted for the door, but there were 2 more officers blocking the exit. He wasn't going anywhere. He turned and looked at me. And in that moment, all the warmth I thought I knew, the tenderness, the hurt, it was just gone. All I saw was rage. Shen Zhiyi. You're not getting away with this. I stood up and looked right back at him. 5 years of marriage, 5 years of tenderness, 5 years of lies. All of it, shattered right here, right now. Take him away. The cuffs clicked shut. Yancheng was dragged out by the 2 officers. He was still fighting them in the hallway, still screaming at the top of his lungs. Shen Zhiyi, you can't do this to me. I'm your husband. His voice faded as they hauled him further away. I stood by the window, watching the police car down below. They shoved him into the back seat. The door slammed shut. The lights came on. The car pulled away fast. I leaned against the windowsill, fingers uncurling one by one. Then I sank to the floor and finally let myself cry. The trial came faster than I expected. The evidence was overwhelming. The autopsy report from Thailand clearly showed blunt force trauma to the back of Lu Ning's skull. She was already unconscious before she went over that cliff. The hotel security footage caught it all. Yancheng going in and out of Lu Ning's room the night it happened. And in the recording, Lu Ning left behind. She said it plain as day. Yancheng's name and exactly what he'd done. Then there was the white Honda. Forensics locked down the hit-and-run evidence from a year ago, no question. The reinvestigation into old He's car accident came back with a verdict too. It wasn't an accident. Someone had tampered with it. On top of that, Shu Yancheng's gambling records, the loan shark receipts, the forged mortgage contracts, all of it together, the evidence closed in like a net, tightening around him layer by layer. The day of the trial, I sat in the gallery. When they brought Shu Yancheng in, he looked right at me. It was a complicated look. There was hatred in it, resentment, and something else I couldn't quite read. He'd hired a lawyer and was going for a not guilty plea. There is no direct evidence linking my client to the victim's death. The trip to Thailand was a coincidence. This recording is nothing more than one-sided speculation from the deceased and cannot be used as grounds for conviction. The prosecutor stood up and played Lu Ning's recording. The courtroom went dead silent. Her voice came through the speakers with that faint crackling hiss of an old tape recorder. Zhiyi. If you're hearing this, Shu Yancheng's been gambling. He's blown through everything we had. I think he's figured out I've been looking into him. If something happens to me, 如果我出了什么事, it wasn't an accident. You have to watch out for him. I closed my eyes. Tears ran down my cheeks. Ning, can you hear me? Everyone can finally hear your voice. The court delivered its verdict. Shu Yancheng, guilty of murder, fraud, and fabricating evidence. Multiple charges all combined, sentenced to life in prison. Stripped of all civil rights for life. The moment the verdict was read, the color drained from Shu Yancheng's face. As they led him out of the courtroom, he suddenly spun around and screamed at Shen Zhiyi. You happy now, Shen Zhiyi? You think you won? Shen Zhiyi didn't say a word. She watched them take Shu Yancheng away, watched him disappear behind that iron door. Then she turned around and walked out of the courthouse. The sunlight was so bright she could barely keep her eyes open. Fang Lei was waiting at the bottom of the steps, holding a bunch of white daisies. Come on, let's go see Ning. Shen Zhiyi took the flowers and gave a quiet nod. The cemetery was still. Shen Zhiyi laid the daisies in front of Lu Ning's headstone, knelt down, and reached out to touch her face in the photo. Lu Ning in the picture was grinning like she didn't have a care in the world, eyes all crinkled up. Ning, I did it. The wind came through, rustling the little blades of grass by the headstone. Shen Zhiyi wiped her tears and stood up. Fang Lei was standing behind her. She asked softly, So, what's next? Shen Zhiyi glanced back at the horizon. The sky was so blue, the clouds so white. Start over. She turned around and walked down the steps one at a time. Everything behind her was the past. What lies ahead is the future. Don't worry about me, Ning. I'm going to live, really live, enough for both of us.